Hello awesome people, welcome back to my channel and a happy new year to all of you. No, I am so glad we all made it to 2021. Now what we are going to do today is we're going to take a little time to review 2020. What was good and what was bad, right? So personally, I wouldn't say 2020 was a horrible year because it was different things to different people. Yes, for the most part, many of us were quarantined. We were all curfewed, which was very weird because never in our wildest dreams would we have imagined that we would have been curfewed to like 7 o'clock.
To further control the spike, the island-wide curfew will remain at 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
2020 was a year full of anxiety. Some persons experienced depression because of the changes. There was a lot of emotional and mental strain placed on people because of the fear of catching COVID-19 or fear for other persons that they love, who they know had pre-existing conditions. So today what we're going to do is, as I said before, we're going to look at the bad and we're going to look at the surprisingly good things that might have come out of the year 2020. Now, I might be a little late for some persons, but one of the main reasons why I waited until now to post this video is because sometimes you have to step out of the current situation to look forward and to really look back and to see the good, right? Because we just recently stepped out of 2020 and a lot of persons, even though it was the last few days, were still fearful. I mean, COVID has not ended. It is still here and we still have to be following the necessary precautions. But for some persons, it is a relief to having made it to a new year. So that's why I decided that today we're gonna take a minute and just do a quick review. For me, the main part of this video, the part that I want you to really look at, is the good things that might have come out of a year that many considered to be the worst. The thing is, I'm a natural optimist, so I will always look at the good things over the bad. And for some persons, they might not have that characteristic and they might need others to point out the good things to them. So I think it's a perfect opportunity to sit and say, okay, let's see what actually went good. So what would you like to look at first, the good or the bad? I think many persons would probably answer and say they'd like the bad news first. So we're going to go ahead with the things that we all know went wrong. But if I forget to mention anything, whether good or bad, just go ahead and leave it in the comment sections so that others may be able to see it as well. One of the negatives that came out of 2020 was that a lot of persons were left grieving. A lot of persons lost persons that they love, people that they care about. So it was quite a painful time for a lot of persons, myself included. And it really does hurt. It leaves a space to know that somebody you love is no longer there. You're no longer able to just call them. You won't be able to see them grow and enjoy life, you know, etc. So it really does hurt. And it's hard to move on knowing that that person is no longer there. So that was one of the bad things that really happened this year. Secondly, a lot of persons lost their jobs. So many companies had to let people go in order to survive. Lots of businesses had to close their doors because they weren't able to provide their services online, or simply because their service was not considered a must-have in 2020. And our tourism industry, which most of us believed to be one of the most secure job sectors, was severely hit because we had to close our borders. Now, all of this job loss and cutbacks has left our economy in an unstable position, right? So that's also a negative thing. And during this time, we were all cooped up at home for weeks, some persons for months, and there are persons who have pre-existing conditions that are still unable to leave their homes. And while it is for safety, it affects some persons psychologically, leading to depressive symptoms, because essentially we are social beings, and for most of us in the initial stages we were plagued by anxiety because it's a virus that we can't see or control, and when we are unable to go out, even if it's just to work or church, we at least are able to socialize, talk to our friends, see persons face to face, meet new persons, and all of that was pretty much placed on pause for the most part in 2020 because we had to be observing the protocol. Remember, if I don't say something and you believe it's a valid comment, please leave it in the comment section. And another negative is that no recreational activities and gatherings were allowed for months.
The prohibition on funerals and parties or such events will continue until September the 22nd, 2020.
Now, I guess this could tie into the lack of social interaction. So persons weren't allowed to go out and celebrate special events. So many birthdays were not celebrated on a large scale. Graduations weren't held. Persons did the drive-by graduation and the online graduation, but I'm sure it did not feel the same. You might not have had the same excitement that you would have had if it was face-to-face. Weddings, persons who might have been planning their wedding for years weren't able to invite the large amount of persons that they would have wanted. They were confined to 10, 15 guests, and that probably does take a little of the excitement out of the event. Persons weren't able to attend memorial service, so we might not have gotten to pay our last respects to our friends and families who might have passed away during that time. And that is hard because the family members who are alive might not have gotten the support that they would have gotten otherwise. We have to also be reminded that family members were kept apart, especially those who lived in nursing homes, persons who are in the hospitals. Those persons didn't get their usual visitors because, we had to be extra cautious when it comes on to persons who are in these facilities, right? We have to ensure that they are safe and kept away from any possible exposure. Everyone was forced to operate remotely and to quickly adapt to technology. This was riddled with internet difficulties. Some persons never had the technology and others just never knew how to work with the technology. So it was quite frustrating at times, but I do believe that after a while we warmed up a little bit to the idea of working remotely, having schools online, etc. The fact is, some really heartbreaking things did happen in 2020, and some persons experienced multiple difficulties or multiple sad experiences at the same time, right? And so in some, we can say it was a very emotional, psychologically trying year. So on the other side, some good things really did happen. So we're going to go ahead and explore some of these good things that happened, these pockets of sunshine. So many businesses were forced to go online, so they were able to adapt quickly and create their new online platforms. And this made it more convenient for customers, and it also made it possible for some of these companies to attract more clients and to expand. Entrepreneurs were born. Many persons capitalized on the opportunity to create their own businesses. It also gave people the courage and time to try something new. So as you can see, many new YouTubers came up. Seeing that a lot of persons were home, we did spend a lot more time on social media, a lot more time watching movies. So a lot of persons capitalized on that opportunity to provide entertainment and to provide facts and general information. So it was a perfect time for persons to utilize social media. And also a lot of persons created masks. So they designed and sold their masks. They started selling cleaning agents. Personal shopping became a thing. Online delivery services were created. Small businesses also took this opportunity to boom. They were given a chance to make their mark on the industry because they capitalized also on social media. the food delivery services stood out. And one of the greatest blessings of 2020 for me was that I think we got to spend more time with our family. So before, it was a 8 to 5, 9 to 5 situation where you get up early in the morning before the sun is out and you go to work and you come back at nights. There was no real opportunity to spend time with your family except on weekends. But COVID forced families to stay in the same environment together and to find a way to work together, right? So for persons who have children, they also got the opportunity to watch their children grow. And for me and my husband, that was pretty exciting because we got to see our toddler grow. It was tiring at times because she was super busy, but it was also extremely amazing. So I think we got an opportunity to take a break from the normal grind and hustle of everyday life and to just appreciate the small things. For those of you who started working from late teens, I think you might have appreciated the time to breathe. So it gave us a second to pause, especially when the internet, I know we were working from home, but in moments when the internet and the electricity failed, it was a good time to just breathe and unwind, right? To practice some self-care. So 2020 did give us that. I think if we had gotten that time for ourselves under different circumstances, without COVID-19 hanging over our heads, we would have greatly appreciated it. And a lot of persons probably would have made more use of the opportunity. Work from home also made life a little bit easier for some individuals because it cut down on the commuting, so persons didn't have to commute every day back and forth to work. For persons who hated the four walls of the office, they got the opportunity to work in a different environment from home. So whether it's inside the house, outside the house, they got the opportunity to work from somewhere else, somewhere different at their own pace. So that was also a plus. University programs were online, so persons who have always wanted to start school got the opportunity to start last year because they were now able to sign into their class after work. They didn't have to worry about commuting. They didn't have to worry about the clash between work hours and school or asking for time from work to go to school. So I think it provided the opportunity for a lot of persons to step out and to try. Getting used to the online learning was difficult for many people, but they still got the opportunity to step out of their comfort zone and to start something new. Persons were also able to get a second job or to create a second job for themselves. I think because of the instability of the economy and the fear of losing their jobs, persons took the opportunity to go out and to look other opportunities or to create opportunities for themselves. And the staycation deals, those are awesome. A lot of persons took advantage of the opportunity to go out and have holidays with their family, to visit hotels that they've never been before, whether it's because they never had the time or because these deals were previously too expensive. Persons now had the opportunity and the desire to go out and to explore Jamaica and to just have fun with their family. We also gained a greater appreciation for our frontline workers who put their lives at risk for us each and every day despite their fears and their own concerns. No, I'm not big on anything political, but for me it was great to see the Ministry of Health team and the Prime Minister out there working, keeping us in the loop every step of the way. And it was a joy to see that our little island Jamaica got praised for the quick and decisive actions that the government took regarding COVID. And trust me, I was just so proud of Jamaica. And for me, I think the greatest lesson learned from 2020 was how great life is. The fact that we have it and how life as we know can change in the blink of an eye. So it's important to enjoy each moment, no matter how small. 2020 might have thrown our lives off balance, but there are a few good takeaways. Just take a minute to really look at 2020 on a whole, how it impacted you, If it didn't do anything good for you, you can look at how it impacted someone else, how it might have impacted someone in your family, a friend. I'm sure you can identify one or two persons that were able to achieve something good or to start something good out of 2020 or while in 2020. Now, remember, if I left out anything, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Now, I found this very informative poster on the Ministry of Health's website. It has a few tips as well as the contact information for our mental health and suicide prevention health line. All right, so I know most of you might not know that we have a helpline available, but if you don't need it, someone else you know might. All right, so you can go ahead and share the information.